important exercise, and I think it's a critical exercise to be able to do with your horses, is to be able to control their shoulders. We obviously know we've got full control of his head and neck, his rib cage, and his hindquarters. At the same time, we need to be able to control the shoulders too. So all we're going to be doing is going a straight line, just so that you can see, and then picking up, you know, bending his head to the right, for example, and pushing his shoulders off to the left, and then changing, bending his head to the left and pushing his shoulders to the right, just to create a little bit of independence between the head and neck and the shoulders, okay? So here we go. Pushing the shoulders to the left, this way, and then changing hands, pushing the shoulders to the right, that way. So I'll try to stay in the frame of the camera. So here's the shoulders going off to the right, and now the shoulders going off to the left. And you can see that he stays light on my hands, light on my legs. Every time I just kind of change hands, watch this. Very, very light on my hands, very light on my legs. So if I want to turn, I just change legs and then push his shoulders again. So you can see that his head and neck don't determine the way he goes. The head and neck, or my hands, they shape his head and neck, and my legs tell his shoulders where to go. So right now my right leg is on him, so he's kind of pushing his shoulders off to the left. But if I keep my hands where they are and I change legs, you can see that he starts to turn to the right now. And then I change legs again, and he goes off to the left. So these horses, your horse is going to be incredibly light and incredibly responsive to your aids, as long as you know how. You need to be a decent rider to understand what you're asking from your horse. Because if you kind of get on your horse and you just kind of do, just pull on their mouth and kick them every once in a while for no reason and all that kind of stuff, then you're not going to get the best out of your horse. But if you know what you're doing, then these guys, they just feel phenomenal. It's an actual pleasure to ride them. So it's a very simple exercise once he knows how to do it. Nothing complicated about it, but it's so important to be able to get that shoulder control. And for all the show jumpers out there, this is probably, if your horse was to be able to do this quite well, and it's actually easier for the horse to do it at the trot and even easier at the canter. You can start to use it to actually shape your horse and keep him in balance, or keep him balanced on the turns. So say, for example, you've got a really sharp left turn. So if I'm going to be turning my horse to the left, the shape that he's meant to be having is an arc, kind of arcing around my inside leg. Rather than pulling his nose and letting his shoulders fall into the circle, you could actually push his shoulders and shape his body before you ask for that left turn, so that when you ask for the left turn, he's very balanced. Does that make sense? Because really, in show jumping, what you need is that your horse is in the right place at the right time and in the right shape, so that he's got all of his power. So if I'm going to go off to the right, I'll shape him to the right first and then ask for that right turn. I don't know if it's clear on camera or not, but at least that's the concept.